Good afternoon. Welcome to Midcap Radar. I'm Sonal Bhutra. With me as always is Vivek Iyer. We've come off the highs, but 88 points higher on the Nifty right now. Midcaps are surging as well. They are the outperformers. Small caps are also taking part in the rally that we are seeing today. So all in all, a decent day. But yes, of course, we've come off from the highs of the day.
Coming off the day's high, but still, well in green territory. So that's the good news. Quite a lot lined up. Some interesting conversations on the show as well. So let's start the show with the top headlines. Stocks stay bid up following a tech rally in the US overnight. Realty and consumer durables are the prominent gainers, even as FMCG, metals, along with PSU banks drag. Midcaps relatively fare better.
Sobha surges in trade around 5% after the board approves a rights issue to raise up to 2,000 crore rupees. The issue price is set at 1651 rupees per share. Proposed equity issuance of 12.1 million shares, which could lead to post-issue equity dilution of 11.3%.
Sugar stocks gained today on expectations of a hike in MSP for the 2024-2025 season. The industry has demanded a hike in minimum sale price to 41 rupees per kg compared to the current level of 31 rupees.
L&T Finance surges over 3% after a large block deal where 3.54% equity changes hands in that deal. Bain Capital and BNP Paribas are likely to have sole stake.
Life insurance stocks HDFC Life and Max Life surge in trade after the insurance regulator introduced revised surrender value norms for life insurance policies. Stocks gain as the surrender value hike is lower than what was being factored in.
Okay, all right, let's talk about the markets now. 85 points higher on the Nifty. We have the mid-caps doing well, 394 points higher there, and the Bank Nifty is the one which is underperforming today. So that one is up just 0.1% as we speak. In terms of sectoral movers, we have Nifty Realty, which is the top gainer. A lot of these Realty names doing well in trade. IT names have made a comeback. Nifty Infra Index is doing well. Auto is also doing well in trade today. What is not doing so well is the CPSE index. Not major losses, but yes, that index is in the red right now, so 0.2% lower there, and a lot of broader market movers as well, which we'll discuss in greater details. But sugar stocks, they should be on your radar. A lot of action there.
Sugar stocks, so it's a sweet rally as far as the market is concerned. The Nifty IT index, especially when you're talking about the mid-cap IT, that's one particular space. It's across the space that you're seeing quite a bit of buying action. But this is our special segment, Mid-Cap Movers. Hormaz is standing by the wall to take us through the top movers in the broader end of the markets.
You may have heard of a 7-year itch, but there's no 7-day itch for sure. That's what the broader markets are conveying right now. Both the mid-cap and small-cap indices up for the 7th day in a row today and at a record high as well. Let's take you through some of the movers then within the broader markets, and within the top gainers include the likes of Aegis Logistics. That is one of the top gainers there on the Nifty 500 index. Along with it also come the likes of Paytm. After the price band revision, that stock is doing well, another 6.5% higher. Aegis Logistics now 14% at the highest point of the day. Oracle Financial also at a record high after strong earnings reported by its parent, 9.5% there as well. Real estate, another 7th day of gains for them. For the index, Macrotech up 4.5%, Sobha after the rights issue of 5%. Godrej Properties also having a good day. But you mentioned sugar. It's a sweet day indeed for all of the sugar companies. Dhampur, Sri Renuka, Balrampur Chini, mind you, is in the F&O ban, but it's up 4.5%. Dwarkesh is also up 8% in today's trading session. Stocks that are doing well on the back of volumes, and Arkin Chemicals 7.5% there. DCM Shriram Home First Finance continues to surge 8.5% there on very strong volumes, and Kempla Samnar as well finding a mention there. And lastly, some of the underperformers in today's session. FMCG finds a mention here. Marico is one of those stocks, almost 4% now at the lowest point of the day. Caplin Point, Elcon, Sun TV also not having a very good day in this otherwise strong market. Back to you guys.
Okay, all right. So some underperformance as well in a market which is otherwise favoring the gainers. But it's a good time to get a technical check on the markets. Samit Chavan of Angel One is joining us for just that. Samit, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. What are the charts suggesting now? Do you think we'll see some leg up from here on, or we could consolidate at these levels?
Good afternoon, Sonal. Last week around the same time, Nifty was hovering somewhere around 22,750 with a decent recovery. And honestly speaking, we were not expecting 23,000 to be crossed quite soon. We were expecting some consolidation before that, but the moment 23,000 was crossed, we witnessed a sharp move of nearly 400 and 500 points at Nifty. Now, since last 3-4 days, we are seeing some consolidation. If you see the India VIX, post the event, it has cooled off drastically from 30 odd levels to 14 odd levels now. So we are seeing some consolidation. There are a lot of spaces that are doing well, but importantly, the heavyweight space banking, it has been consolidating. As far as bank Nifty is concerned, it is facing some resistance around 50,200, 50,500. So till the time bank Nifty does not contribute or participate in this rally, we are likely to see some consolidation. So as far as levels are concerned for Nifty, we are seeing levels of 23,500 to 23,200. So this is the immediate trading range. It's a thin range that we have been witnessing some consolidation in the index since last 3-4 days. So till the time we remain in this range, stock specific moves are likely to continue. If you see the midcap select index, which is a tradable index, it has been continuously rising, and it is now knocking the doors of yet another milestone of 12,000. So clearly, outside the index, we are seeing better opportunities, and there are a lot of things that are playing well, and one should keep focused on such themes.
Samit, which are the individual stocks that you're liking in today's trading session?
The high beta realty space has been doing well for itself, and if you see Godrej Properties, it has been one of the outperforming stocks within this space. It has already given a V-shaped recovery from last Tuesday's low, and now it is trading at its all-time high. It has already entered an uncharted territory. So the price structure looks good. We would expect, with a momentum perspective, 1300, 3120 to be tested in this particular counter. So as a momentum trader, one should keep stop around 2960. And the other buy would be on GMR. This stock has been doing well since last many months now. Recently, 1.5 months, we witnessed some consolidation, but the stock seems to be poised for yet another breakout from its recent conversion zone. So we like GMR Infra, GMR Airports, in fact, for a target of 97 to 99. But once the stock surpasses its psychological mark of 100, we could see a sharp rally unfolding in this counter. So for a time being, 97, 99, these are the levels to watch out for. And as a trader, we would keep a stop around 87.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Samit, for joining us with that technical check. With that, we'll slip into a short break. When we come back, we'll be joined by the group that is the Vice President of Morbi Ceramic Association, Shailesh Vasnani, the Vice President, will be with us. Ceramic companies, they saw margin benefits due to lower gas prices. Will that continue or not? We'll discuss that. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still tuned into Midcap Radar, and the sector on our radar is the ceramic sector and also the gas sector, because remember, ceramic companies saw 400 to 500 basis points reduction in fuel costs as a percentage of sales in Q4. And we do know that gas is a big input for these companies as well. And Gujarat Gas also is a major supplier in this particular region, which is the Morbi region. So what is the gas pricing looking like? Will this benefit continue now that spot LNG prices are also seeing a rise? What does it mean for the ceramic industry and Gujarat Gas in terms of volumes as well? To discuss this and more, we have Shailesh Vasnani, the Vice President of Morbi Ceramic Association, joining us now. Mr. Vasnani, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. I just wanted to understand right now, in the industry, is there more usage of gas coming in from Gujarat Gas or propane? What is the pricing differential that you're seeing right now?
Currently, both the gas have been used in Morbi, Gujarat Gas as well as propane. The total demand or total the usage of Morbi currently is 77 lakhs SCM, standard cubic meters. From these 77 lakhs standard cubic meters,
Okay, all right. It looks like there is some technical issue, but of course we'll get back to Mr. Vasnani in just a bit. But just to give you some perspective, that Gujarat Gas supplies gas in the Morbi region, and that is one of the major inputs for these ceramic makers as well. And we also have propane, and there's always a competition between propane and Gujarat Gas's gas, because the prices keep changing, and that's how the industry also keeps changing their inputs as well. So that is something that impacts the volumes for Gujarat Gas. And in terms of ceramic industry, in addition to what we are talking about Gujarat Gas, they have been facing some pressure in terms of exports. They have been facing some volume pressure and some margin pressure as well, but that recovered in Q4. So the question was whether that continues or not. But yes, we'll just be connecting with Mr. Vasnani in just a bit.
You're right. Another big talking point, for this entire space is while you track the sector quite closely, especially the gas space, I think there's a lot of expectation from the industry, whether gas, natural gas especially, could come under GST. And especially for players like people in the ceramic space, it will be interesting to see whether they get any input tax credit. And I think that will be a big kicker for them going forward. While we just try and get you back to that particular line, let's look at the markets. Have a look at some of these mid-cap IT stocks. Look at a name like OFSS, Oracle Financial Services. This particular stock surging in the session, and it continues its surge for the past 2 quarters especially. Some of the other names that we spoke about, especially when you're looking at names from the NBFC space, even yesterday we spoke to you about them. Look at L&T Finance Holding. The block deal overhang is now done, and after that the stock has moved higher significantly. Even names like LIC Housing Finance, names like M&M Financial Services, names like Chola Investment. Have a look at Chola Investment, this particular stock too, surging in the session. Mid-cap IT, whole host of names. Sonal, you had something to add, yeah.
Oh, no, I was just saying, yes, these are some of the stocks that are in focus, and we'll be getting our colleagues in as well. They'll talk about some of the stocks which are buzzing or are in focus on the back of news as well. So Biocon is one of them. It has informed CNBC-TV18 that company has received adequacy letter for a generic drug from the US FDA. I'm sure it has a lot of names which we can't pronounce. So Ekta, please take it away and tell us all about it.
Thanks for that. Well, yes, Biocon has given us a confirmation that they've received the adequacy letter for Biocon's generic liraglutide API from the US FDA. So now what does an adequacy letter mean? An adequacy letter is issued when the review finding for a drug master file for an API is adequate for the first time and is completed. So that means that it attests the quality of the API being suitable in the tests which are undertaken by the US FDA. Now, this is for the liraglutide drug, which is a GLP-1 drug, which is by Novo Nordisk. It is the first generation GLP-1 drug. We all know about semaglutide, Wegovy, all of the other drugs which are popular within this category. But liraglutide is from the same family, but it is a first generation drug. Now, remember that Biocon has already received approval for the generic version of liraglutide by the European Medicines Agency in the UK. They are expecting generic entry in 2024 in the US. The drug size is still significant despite it being a first generation drug, though there could be transition to other GLP-1 drugs. But remember that there is shortages and other factors to consider there. $500 million plus is what is considered to be the market size for liraglutide in the US currently. Now, the impact for Biocon, which is considered to be positive, is that it helps validate the company's scientific capability in developing complex GLP-1 drugs, because that is going to be basically the new opportunity and how exactly companies are going to capitalize on it. And the UK liraglutide approval that Biocon had was the first generic approval for the molecule in any advanced market. And hence, again, it stands for the kind of capability that Biocon has in this space.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for explaining that to us, Ekta. Now, let's get back to the conversation we were having with Mr. Shailesh Vasnani, the Vice President of Morbi Ceramic Association. Mr. Vasnani, good to have you back. Just wanted to get that answer again. What is the split between propane and Gujarat gas right now in terms of your input, and what is the pricing differential looking like?
The propane is consumed by 40% of the total volume of Morbi, and 60% our volume goes to Gujarat gas. The pricing of Gujarat gas is 45 rupees SCM landed to the company with the taxation structure, and propane gas is 1 rupees cheaper than what we get from Gujarat gas. But with this small marginal difference of 1 rupees, still our market or the Morbi industry would like to go with Gujarat gas.
Okay, so currently the industry is preferring to use Gujarat gas. Now, coming to gas itself, could you give us a sense of the current average cost of gas for you when you're comparing it to the same time last year? And going forward, how are you seeing gas prices pan out?
Compared to the last year, the current prices are lesser by 12 to 15%. And we had the current talks with Gujarat Gas Companies Authority for the next coming 2-3 months. They are targeting a little decline in the gas prices. And the same with the propane. So the prices are not going to be high, but there will be a little decline in the gas prices. And we are comfortable using Gujarat gas in these prices.
Okay, 12 to 15% lower already, and there is an indication that prices could go lower. Mr. Vasnani, I wanted to understand, spot LNG prices are still going higher. Yes, they did see a big decline in November, but from those levels they have surged. So is it basis the conversation that you have had with Gujarat Gas that they will go ahead and cut prices? Is it a surety or something that they have told you?
It's not about the assurity, but when we talked about the spot price of the LPG and Gujarat Gas, they told that they will be comparing the pricing with the propane gas and they'll be competitive with the propane gas also. And yes, in the next 2-3 months, propane gas will have some price cut, and Gujarat Gas authorities are telling that we'll try to match their prices. It will be competitive to the industry in any case.
Okay. One more important development that the industry is looking forward to that we understand is that, there is a proposal to bring natural gas under GST. Could you give us a sense of, how the current dynamics work, and do you benefit? And if you could explain to us, quantifiable manner, how is it that you would benefit if that particular proposal does fructify?
If the government considers this under GST slab, the GST what we are paying right now will be 6% benefit to the industry. Now this 6% saving either could be going to the industry fully or partially it could be absorbed by Gujarat Gas as their additional margins. But in both the conditions, the industry has a big benefit by getting this GST because we are already paying the GST to the government and we can get the 6% rebate back. So 6% is a huge value. When you talk about the price at 45 rupees level, it will be at least 2.5 rupees per kg cut down on gas price.
Okay, so is there any rate that the industry is expecting as well? 12%, 18%? Has there been any indication on that?
You mean to say 12% rate down?
The GST rate on gas, has there been any indication on that? Because I know discussions are going on as well.
The indications are by 6%, not 12.
Okay, 6% GST on gas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that will be a benefit of around 6% for you as well, because you'll be able to take input tax credit, because that is something that you pay on your output already.
Correct.
Now, let's talk about your business itself, Mr. Vasnani. Wanted to understand how is demand looking right now. There were some reports that suggested exports are under pressure. Has that recovered?
Let me tell you about the exports figure. Last year, 2022-23, the exports was 16,000 crores. Ceramic tiles industries total exports. But last year, we have closed at 18,700 crores. So it's a rise of 15% in the exports from year back. So we cannot say it is declining. It is growing at the speed of 15 to 17%. And this year also, we are forecasting 21,000 crores of the exports. So it is a growing market.
Mr. Vasnani, could you give us a sense, or could you break up, in terms of the total industry output, what is it that's going to the domestic market? What would be the proportion that is going to export market, and which market is actually growing higher for you or faster for you?
From the total market size, let me consider the total market size is targeted to be 75,000 crores, ceramic tiles industry in the whole. From this 75,000 crores, 19,000 goes to the global market and the rest 56,000 goes to the domestic market. So the ratio is 75-25% is our global market, 75 is domestic. Now, as I told you, the growth in the export market is seeing 15 to 17%. And the domestic market growth is not more than 10-12%. So when we talk about the comparison of the growth, exports are growing a little higher pace. But the proportion of the domestic market is still 75%. So we cannot even lose, or we cannot have our loose hands on the domestic market even today.
Absolutely, that's understandable, because the bigger pie still goes to the domestic market. You spoke about exports doing well. There were reports, Mr. Vasnani, of US imposing duty on tiles from India. Do you think that's a possibility, or that was just election-related noise earlier?
There's a big possibility, because the manufacturers from US has already proposed this anti-dumping duty towards the Indian companies. And the department has already started working on it. But yes, the bad part is it may be having an import duty from the Indian goods. But the good part is our total business, what goes to US is not more than 9 to 10% from our total volume of 19,000 crores.
Thank you so much for your time here and explaining, the entire dynamics of the ceramic industry for us. But we've run out of time for this particular interview. We'll have you once again to understand, once there are further developments in this particular space. Let's now slip into a short break. We'll get you more on the markets and stock-specific action on the other side. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Let's talk about more stocks now. 361 WAM is in focus as the company has acquired ET Money from Times Internet. Vamakshi joins us with the details of this acquisition and the acquisition math as well. Vamakshi.
Well, absolutely. 361 WAM in focus, they forayed into wealth tech. They've acquired ET Money from Times Internet, like you rightly pointed out. And in fact, this acquisition is coming in for a purchase consideration of 366 odd crores, out of which nearly 86 crores is the cash consideration, and remainder will be through issue of nearly 36 lakh equity shares of the company at 779.93 per share, which could result in a 1% equity dilution as per Jefferies. Let's also focus in on what exactly ET Money does. So it is a SEBI registered investment advisor. In fact, it is among the largest non-brokerage digital platforms for wealth management. It has 900k plus transacting clients as well as 100k revenue generating users. The AUM invested on the platform amounts to 28,000 crores, out of which nearly 25,000 crores is in the MF business itself. As far as the valuations are concerned, FY24, the combined revenue for Money Goals as well as ET Money stood at 30.74 crores. So in this in turn values the acquisition, that is the price to sales, at almost 12 times. Jefferies also has come out with a report on 360 WAM. They've maintained their buy rating, target price of 930 per share. They highlight that this acquisition could add 18% to the company's recurring AUM and nearly 4% to the company's revenue. It opens up new customer segments for the companies. This is a big positive, and it also gives entry into the fast-growing SIP market. But on the flip side, they say that this is a highly competitive market and the synergies coming in from this acquisition could be limited. So on the back of this news flow, 361 WAM in focus today.
Thank you so much for that, Vamakshi. 361, after opening sharply higher, now trending near the flat line. But the next set of stocks that are in focus are the sugar sector stocks. They are surging in trade on expectations of a hike in minimum sale price. To discuss more on this development, earlier today we spoke to Atul Chaturvedi, the executive chairman at Sri Renuka Sugars. Listen in to what he had to say on sugar MSP as well as on ethanol blending.
The industry has been asking for a revision of MSP or minimum selling price, essentially to make this as a kind of an institutional, rather institutionalize the whole process, because FRP keeps getting increased and the minimum selling price doesn't move. So if this is increased, then it will send the right signal, and it will also give the signal to the farmers that their money is going to be assured in future, as the industry is not going to lose money. So I think this message, hopefully the government will probably revise this. Announcement by the Honorable Petroleum Minister has actually come as a whiff of fresh air. In fact, in December, when the cane juice ethanol and B-heavy ethanol was banned for making ethanol, so we were all very disappointed, and the headwinds were pretty high because sugar production was going up and it was adding on to our interest burden. But now this statement reaffirms that the government has not put the plan on the back burner, and the government is committed to ensure that the Prime Minister's target of achieving 20% blending by 2025 gets achieved. So what the industry is anticipating is that the price of cane juice ethanol should be more or less in tune with what the government is giving for maize-based ethanol, which is about closer to about 72 rupees, which means an increase of about 7 rupees from the current price. And similarly, the B-heavy ethanol price also needs to be jacked up in the same proportion, which would mean that it will now become something like 65, 66 rupees or thereabouts.
Well, most of the sugar companies today especially are doing quite well in the session. Sri Renuka itself up over 11%. Even names like Balrampur Chini are doing quite well. But during the last half an hour, what's actually happened is that the bank nifty has seen a bit of pressure. It just dipped below the flat line, into the negative territory. The nifty continues to hold up higher by around 0.3%. But that's all the time we have on this edition of Midcap Radar Mutual Fund Corner. When we return.